Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I just want to walk you through a couple of things since we went ahead and lost the footage. We had another crash and the footage was not usable. So here's what's different. Peru, Bolivia, it's 1868 now, so it's a couple of years later. It was almost an entire episode. Peru, Bolivia is now a dominion. We made a war with them on them to reduce their autonomy. We finished out building all those railways that we were building. And now we're expanding barracks. We did complete state atheism, so population is now closing in on 40% atheist. So that's a work in progress. As you can see, we've got a lot of radicals from that. Big discrimination's been a big factor. Obviously, standard of living and legitimacy have been big factors in keeping that from going absolutely buck wild. Our movements are no longer active. So that's a plus. The intelligentsia did petition us to enact propertied women, to let women have property rights. So I've gone ahead and done that, and now we're going to get started. We're currently working on a military expansion, and again, part of our reason for doing that is that, as you can see, Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador, despite being relatively happy being our vassals, except for Venezuela, which is not, they're not as willing to have their autonomy reduced right now because we don't have such a great force comparison with them militarily. Oh, Ecuador will. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's do that before that changes. They've accepted. Wonderful. All right, a landmark case. In a legal case that has grabbed the attention of the whole country, a judge has ruled that domestic violence is grounds for divorce. He struck her again and again, simply for dropping a plate. This was only the latest in a series of beatings stretching from honeymoon to present day. How can we get any woman to this endless punishment? Divorce for women in violent situations is not just fair, it is the very embodiment of justice. This supports our case immensely, 20% enactment chance. Landowners big mad. Or let's not celebrate too hard in case we upset the landowners. I'm already upsetting the landowners, and they're already not feeling great towards the government. So I'm going to do the second one. Again, 10% enactment chance is completely fine. We're now at 53%, so I'm feeling very confident overall. I'm actually super duper pleased that Ecuador is now happy to be our dominion. That has increased our line item for diplomatic pacts significantly here. 3.5k from Ecuador. That also means they'll participate in our diplomatic plays, which means potentially it'll be easier with Colombia and Peru, Bolivia in future situations. We actually reduced North Peru to a puppet recently, so we'll kind of see how that goes. So how are things looking with Colombia now? They're at 38%. We are continuing to build up our ground forces. We are actually finally made it into position 8, no matter how temporarily. Spain's probably still going to increase themselves, but if we can get any higher up, we might just be able to get to great power status, which would make me really, really pleased. So for that to happen, we need to finish these out. We need to get these gold mines built, and that's going to improve our finances really significantly. We got a few more industrial things, and then we're going to be building an absolute ton of universities. And those universities are going to make everything run smoother in the country. Let's go ahead and look at our market and see what we can export. Actually, I'm going to get some more logging industries on. Ooh, progress to voting. That's excellent. I'm going to get some more logging industries on focused hardwood production. That is going to be good for the country and good for them. Let me see. Bahia is still on. We actually got quite a few still building softwood, but that's all right. So has that helped out the price of hardwood? It certainly has. That's very good. I think we've got enough explosives in the customs union at this point that or at least enough capacity to produce explosives in the customs union that we can go ahead and switch our iron mines over to nitro. So it's going to add 5 times 14, 90 explosives demand. So let's do it. And how has that impacted the market? It's impacted it quite a bit, but not too much. So our explosives industries are fully employed, all right. And then the ones in Sao Paulo Or it wasn't Sao Paulo. Where was it? I thought I'd gotten that right. Oh no, I only have the one. Well, I guess I'm going to need to put those higher up in the queue, huh? We'll put them at the top. We'll put them ahead of the gold mines, because the gold mines are going to themselves cost more explosives. But we'll finish out the barracks first, and that'll be just fine. Come on, give me another success. Shazam! Perfect. So, that is wonderful. Our petition has been completed, and I'm feeling pretty good about things overall. I do want to do another large increase in the construction sector, but I don't want to go too wild, because I think we can definitely live with higher taxation. Loyalists are going down a little bit, and radicals are increasing, but I think that's going to become less of a factor as more and more of the country shifts over to full atheism. And part of the reason I'm not annexing, I'm not trying to necessarily annex these countries, is because I want to have a solid core of Brazilian loyalist atheists in my sort of imperial core territory before I go around trying to convert a bunch of other places. So that's kind of why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. So this is basically the end of our barracks increases, and we are just going ahead and building this explosives factory, and that'll be very good. So, our line item for military power projection has increased significantly. We're now at about 90 from Army power projection and 80 from Navy power projection. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Brazilian naval power, we've got another 5 years to get up to into the top 10. So I think a naval power projection, a naval expansion is definitely should be in the works. Let's go ahead and get 5 more units each of frigates and man-o-wars. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for man-o-wars, maybe we'll just go up by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's kind of all in our core territory, and that should be good. And I'm actually going to put them ahead of the iron mines. We're going to need the military shipyards to make this happen, though, so we're going to leave those on top. Mining accident. A mine in Bahia has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across Bahia and the nation. They dug me out, but left my friend behind. That was all the foreman was able to get out of the wretched boy. Sooty rags clung to him like wispy strands of a torn funeral jacket. Whether he held back his tears for fear of a beating or to keep strong, the foreman did not know. He was spent for the day. The foreman hoped the manager had a mind for mercy. This is a small price to pay for the march of industry. This makes lower stratum pops. Now, all these are in Bahia. We can get lower stratum pops radical and stronger industrialists. Upper stratum pops radical and stronger trade unions. Or, finally, middle stratum pops radical and stronger rural folk. I'm going to go with the first one because the industrialists are kind of the basis of my government, and they're the ones that my emperor aligns with. His heir aligns with the intelligentsia, which will make things a lot easier. And if Presidente de Borapel Rohan eventually becomes unpopular or very old, I can have him abdicate in favor of the intelligentsia, and then they can rule unopposed. Chile is damaging relations. I don't like that. Chile, why would you damage relations with us? We're friends. You're my natural ally. Ally, quote unquote. Let me see, what kind of army does Chile have? Chile has a significant army. Argentina has the capacity for a significant army, but it doesn't currently have one. So, you know, feeling pretty alright about that overall. I'm gonna put these other gold mines up top so that I've got the capacity to produce the explosives that I need before the mines come online, and that'll make things easier. It's also going to help once I'm building up these more munitions plants and military shipyards. I think maybe right in the middle of here is when we're going to build our new construction sectors. So what does a construction sector take? What does each construction sector take now? It takes 10 tools, 20 cloth, 40 wood, 50 iron. Where are we with tools? Tools, we're doing actually really well. And there's central banking. That's going to really improve our minting, which I'm feeling pretty pleased about. I still have some tooling industries that are using pig iron tools instead of steel. Let's go ahead and do this. This is going to hike the price of steel a little bit. Yeah, oh, that's quite a lot. But it is also reducing the price of iron, which is very good for us, isn't it? Where's iron? Iron is down here. All right, so I can definitely tolerate an increase in iron costs. So let's go ahead and build 2 levels in Minas Gerais, 2 in Rio de Janeiro, and we'll do 2 in Sao Paulo and 2 in Bahia. And we'll put those right after these gold mines. Now we might not even need those iron mines at all. I say probably becoming vastly overconfident. French Republic is going after 2 aught. I don't think I necessarily need to concern myself with that. Costs are very high, so we're going to have to do a tax hike. Nothing major. We're just going up to low. Standard of living is still kicking around 10.5. It was higher than that for a bit, but it is what it is. And with our significantly stronger armies, let's see how things look in terms of reducing the autonomy of our puppets. What about Venezuela? Venezuela's got a higher chance. I could definitely tolerate... Ooh, Upper Canada's improving relations. That's good, I guess. Venezuela I could definitely take in a fight. Much more so than Colombia. Colombia has a really significant army, but I've got a much more significant army than I had the last time I got into a fight with them, so I'm still feeling reasonably confident. Armada Nacional still has 2 leaders, and that should be enough. In fact, let's go ahead and give both of these guys a promotion. Just get them a little bit higher ranking and make sure that we can keep these forces pretty solid in the event of something getting silly. So, we've built that explosives factory, so what does that do for our explosives? Alright, we're very good. We're much closer to being on balance in terms of total explosives production capability. And are the explosives factories fully employed? They're not. Predicts it would reduce its profitability, which doesn't seem right, but it is what it is. Part of it, what's going on, is these sulfur mines still can't... Let me see if I can put these on rail transport so that they're using less labor. Because I think that's part of the deal here. I think we're using too much labor in these places. And if I can just put them on rail transport, I think they'll be fine. Let's make the iron mines less profitable. Ooh, nope. Go back to road carts. What about... Okay, coal mines are good to go. What about the lead mines? Lead mines, they don't think they'll be profitable at all. Gold mines, they say they will be. I'll take their word for it. There's hydraulic cranes. So that's perfect. So we're working on triage at this point. And that is 12 months away. Again, I still haven't really completed my my increase in the size of my naval industry the way I would like to, and right now I'm throwing huge costs into construction industries, which is going to impose major costs on my government, but it's necessary. I can go ahead and have another hike in taxes, and that'll put us at medium. We're still in a righteous government, so I'm still feeling good overall. Obviously, the downtick in standard of living has created a few more loyalists and created a few more radicals and gotten some loyalists less loyal. But overall, I think I'm still pretty confident in my ability to do this. Venezuela continues to be rebellious, despite my ongoing attempts to improve relations. They're damaging relations with us, which is not great. but Colombia continues to be amicable. They're up to 44% chance to be willing to reduce their autonomy, so I think maybe we'll be good. Let's put these naval bases up top. I'm going to once again delay the railways. This amount of construction capacity really feels pathetic in 1870, but in fairness to this, I am used to playing much larger, stronger nations with bigger economies. And I know Brazil's got a pretty large economy, but it's very agrarian at this stage of history, so things are still a little rough. Alright, we've got a diplomatic play going down here in the Rhine region, with France going head-to-head with Prussia. Looks like a lot of people are siding with Prussia. France is pretty infamous. Oh, France is really infamous. They're grabbing Rhineland, North Rhine, and Ruhr all at once. That's bananas. Alright, well, we got a language in the classroom event. Again, I'm just gonna go, school should teach them the proper language with this. I don't necessarily need to faff about with that situation. Great Britain sides with Prussia. France will be willing to give us a war goal, but I don't necessarily want a war goal. USA sides with France, and now neither of them wants us. That's totally fine. I get it. Prussia we are neutral relations with, and we don't have an... Oh, no, it's not that we don't have an interest. We just don't have the capacity from an influence perspective. I'm going to end my defensive pact with France. That'll give us a truce for a bit. Our relations are still basically good. They're actually a lot worse than I thought they were going to be. I'm going to improve relations with them a bit. And we have the Piaui campaign. The government's friendly relationship with Great Britain, an infamous country with a horrible reputation, has been the subject of sharp criticism and strong rhetoric from leading opposition candidates. To think that the name of Brazil, not due to any real necessity, but purely from cynical diplomatic gestures, should be associated with the ghastly crimes such as those perpetrated by Great Britain. I tell you, we must pursue new foreign policy, an ethical foreign policy. What good is all this if we cannot look ourselves in the mirror with shame? Perhaps the speaker from the Conservative Party has a point? More momentum for the Conservatives, reduced momentum for the Liberals. I don't love that. If the government distances itself from Great Britain, the Conservative Party's argument will be undercut, deteriorates relations. Is Great Britain infamous? It's only a little infamous. I'm going to let the Conservatives have this one. Relations with Great Britain are good. I don't think they're going to be infamous much longer here. Nobody's really interested in this situation's in changing sides in this situation. I don't want to get involved in a giant war in Europe, so I'm just going to go ahead and declare neutrality. I think I can definitely live with not being in this war. British-French rivalry, Prussian-French rivalry, interesting. Taxation situation is kind of in freefall. Not super stoked about that. I think we've just lost our bankroll from Belgium. Yeah, that's what happened. So what we're going to do is we are going to complete our construction queue, and then we're going to kind of dial it back from a construction standpoint. We've also got standard of living below 10 at this point, which I also don't love. We got our naval bases built, closing in on triage getting researched, and then it's going to be straight away onto breech-loading artillery. So once that's done, we'll be in a very healthy place militarily. The Armada Nacional is still continuing to increase its overall size as more of these barracks are able to hire. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So let's see what Colombia's chances look like. 46% to reduce autonomy. I think we can live with going after these countries at this stage. So let's go ahead and get these finished. We just got triage. So let's go ahead and activate first aid as a medical production method. That should be good to go. I'm actually tempted to go after Colombia first, just in case they say yes. Because I think their chance of saying yes is actually pretty good. you know, it's under 50, but if they do, then it'd be great. Now, if they don't, we'll have to actually fight them, and that'll be a pretty significant cost, but I could probably live with it. Once I've got these munitions plants built, I'll be able to live with it. So I think that's kind of our plan. Let's put this one railway a little bit down below here. And I think we can just go ahead and cancel these 2 iron mines. I don't actually need iron to such a great extent right now that I'm aware of. Yeah, no, iron is very well balanced in our customs union, actually. So I'm pretty pleased about that. Financial situation's all right. I think because the private sector is now building 2 things. It should be good. The Tarapacá campaign. This thing again. I'm going to let the conservatives get some momentum again. It's going to put them kind of right on par with the Free Trade Party, but we're going to get plenty of votes with the Liberal Party, so I'm still overall fairly confident with that. Brazilian naval power, there's the election, is okay. So we are now filling this bar, finally. So we just need to stay there, and we'll be good to go. We've still got a righteous government, so I'm still pretty confident in the political situation. So again, once this munitions plant gets built, our war with... Actually, no. We can kick that off. We can be able to kick that off pretty soon. Come on, 46%. They've said no. That is unfortunate. We'll have to mobilize our armies. But I'm feeling confident. So, we've got 2 fronts here somehow. Oh, because there's impassable territory here. That's why. So we're going to put our main force on this front and our smaller force on this front. And we're going to declare or designate our strategic objective as the capital. That's given us 7 infamy. We are way, way over in spending, but in 11 weeks we'll be good to go with that. So who can we bring into this fight? There's only one country that is interested, and it's Sweden. Which would be interesting. I believe Sweden is neutral in the present diplomatic kerfuffle happening in Europe. It looks like they are. They're not currently in a war. So getting them into this could be useful. Russia sides with Colombia. Oh, that is not good. But they will be willing to join us with a treaty port in Antioquia, so we'll pull them back on our side. Excellent. And then can we still get Sweden in here with an obligation? We can. So we'll bring Sweden in as well. Whew. And now Austria is with Colombia. Gosh darn it. Austria, how could you do this to me? I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends, Austria. Alright, so the Austrians are going to fight the Russians. I think that's where the main front is going to be. I really hope we're able to win in Colombia, because if not, I am probably going to lose Colombia as a vassal. And that would be so, so tragic. That would be extremely sad. 2 more weeks until these munitions plants are built. And at that point, I'm just going to pause all state construction. And let the private sector take hold of that. And we'll see if we are making just a gigantic mistake. We've got plenty of battalions coming to the front from Europe. So I'm hoping... Okay, there we go. Alright, finances are looking solid. Feeling good overall. Force comparison on this front is not so good. So we'll go ahead and put the 4th Army on defend front orders for the moment. I'm going to give both of these guys a little promotion. Just make sure I don't wind up in a situation over here. I'm going to raise my conscripts. There's not that many. And then over here, I'm going to do the same, I think. Yeah, not that many, just trying to get our overall situation pretty solid. I'm cautiously optimistic. Russia can be sometimes not an ideal country to have on your side in a war, because they're often have a very large army, but not always a good one. We are losing this fight here. We're also in the process of researching breech-loading artillery, so that would put us in a better position if we're able to get that implemented within a reasonable time frame. Unfortunately, that's going to be about 3 years away now, and we're not going to get any universities built, so it is what it is. Baking powder has been researched. We'll go ahead and get our food industries using it to produce additional groceries. I am really, really tempted to go to extra supplies. Let me put the 4th Army on extra supplies, and let me see how much that would cost. Okay, not that much. Might be a mistake. We're doing it. Oh, man. Cripes. 3rd Army lost its commander. So we need... You're innovative, you're a traditionalist commander, you are an opium addict. I'm hoping that's not a problem. Give you a promotion. Ah, they lost all their organization. Gosh darn it. Alright, we're going to set you on defend for now. Ugh, that's really annoying. Alright. It is what it is, though. These things happen. It's war. People die. But that's another very good reason to keep multiple leaders in each army. In fact, speaking of which, let's pull another one in. Oh, you're very good, actually. So we'll recruit you, promote you. And we'll put you on defense as well, just for now. Force comparison is not looking great on this front, so I'm going to put these armies on defend. But force comparison is looking really solid in the southern front, so we'll put these armies on advance. Hopefully we'll be able to snag the capital real quick. And that might just let us get what we need to get. We're winning over here. And we're winning on the front in Europe, so I'm cautiously optimistic about that as well. They've got a long way to go before they're really holding Brazilian territory that we need to feel real concerned about. So I'm again cautiously optimistic about it. And again, this front is looking good. So if we can continue to win over here, we can get to where we need to be in the capital. It looks like we are taking territory in Guaviare and Cauca. And force comparison here is looking actually really, really solid. So I'm hoping we can get there fast and just grab what we need to grab and then be good to go. And over here, we'll just get the enemy bogged down in the Amazon. And that will be a strategy that we'll be able to win with. Things are looking pretty solid, friends. Things are looking pretty solid. We're not in the capital yet, but we've got very solid occupation in both of these two states. And Colombia is actually losing war support pretty quickly. They still have war support protection because we do not hold the capital. And we've got a little bit of front chicanery over here. So these two armies have fallen off of this front. Actually, I'm just going to put this army on this front. No, I'm going to put them both on this front. I'm going to let them stay there. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this 3rd Brazilian army, the smaller army, over here. And we'll get our other army pushing towards the capital. And if we can get the capital, then we can just about get this thing sorted out. Where are you going? You're going back to the... I don't know how you fell off that front, but... if we can get there, and win, we'll be good to go. I think our allies might have accidentally, or not accidentally, intentionally put Antiquoya as the main target, but again, I think if we can move fast and break stuff, we can get a hold of their capital and get everything we need. So, again, cautious optimism on my part here. This front is very bad. This front is now also very bad. We'll keep those guys on defense. And we'll see if we can't sneak in the back. We have got their capital now. So they are losing war support rapidly. If I take off the Antiquoya Treaty Port, Russia will not be happy. So let's hope we can keep this thing going. We've got Colombia fully occupied, and all of our armies are headed to the front in the middle of the country. We should be able to get plenty of occupation here pretty fast because they don't have supply. Oh, beautiful. Whew. All right. So I've converted Colombia now into a puppet, or into a dominion. That's very good for me. Austria has proposed a white peace. I'm going to accept that. And that is the end of the war. So, we had a pretty productive episode. We took over Colombia. Russia has got a treaty port now in addition to France, but, you know, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and resume construction with my... we're going to see how that impacts our finances. They're doing actually really well. So I'm feeling pretty pleased overall with this episode's efforts. Things were a little dicey, but overall I'm feeling pretty good. So, that's been fun. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well. And I will see you on the other side.